Thank you very much. So the question I would like to talk about in the next 10 minutes is why SQL on Docker? Why does it make any sense? My name is Geisler, and I've written several books. I'm a Microsoft MVP, and I think many people know me, so we can just jump over this and go to the next but last slide. Why SQL on Docker? I think there are two main things. First of all, it's very easy, and the second one is it is fast. So let's just jump right into a demo. And as always, I'm sitting here and I'm not really prepared to give a demo. So I don't have any SQL Server on my local machine because I messed up installing one, and maybe I'm a person who is not able to install a SQL Server because I don't have any knowledge on this. But it's very easy because what I can do is I can give someone who hasn't ever installed a SQL Server before, I can just give him a little piece of code. And if he has Docker on his machine installed, which is also easy to install, he just have to run it. And so what I can show you is how we get a SQL Server demo environment up in no time. So let's go here, and I will just put in this code, and now we have a SQL Server running. So what I can do is I can just go and do Docker PS, and you see, well, there is obviously a SQL Server running, and it is connected on port 1433. So let's see if we can connect. So I will just bring up Azure Data Studio. I will Azure Data Studio, and I will just connect to the SQL Server. So the SQL Server is running on my local host. So let's just give it a try. I have to put in the password, and yes, it is not up to date, but this doesn't matter to me. And I will just put in the password. And here we go. So now we have a SQL Server, and not only that we have a SQL Server, we also have a SQL Server where there is a database pre-installed. So if I would like to demo something, for example, to Ben, how to do a select star statement or something like this, right? I have a SQL Server with a pre-installed AdventureWorks database. So and I can do many things here to just demo this. For example, I can go in, and what I can do is I will just get I will just do a select here from the customers, and well, maybe let's go and let's do some updating here of my database, because I would like to show a little bit on my database. Well, I will go to maybe to the salesperson table. And this is a table where we have data in it, and maybe we would like to update our table. So I will do an update on sales.salesperson set. Let's go set sales year to date equals null, and I will oh well, I did, oh, there is okay, I do this one. Oops. And this was not a good decision, because if I look here, well, sales year to date is 0, and I cannot do any demo on this on this numbers here. So what I can do now easily is I will just switch back to my console, and what I could do is I could just do a Docker remove, and I will just remove this container, and I will force it. So the container is gone, and when I just reinitiate the container like this, I can just reconnect to my database server. Yeah, this is okay. Connect. Okay. So I will just edit connection. Okay, there it goes. It wasn't up. So when I now do the exact same select again, select star from salesperson, you see that Hello. Okay, you see the sales year to date is there again because I just created a very fresh a Docker container from my SQL Server, and this is a very good thing how I can very easily and very fast spin up some demo environments. So next thing I would like to show you is, well, the thing here is that I didn't persist the data. So the databases of my SQL Server are within the Docker container at this moment. And every time I delete and recreate the Docker container, I have new data because, or a new instance of my database, because the database is part of my Docker container. The next thing I can do is I can just go and persist this, because as you know, if we have a database, it's not a good idea to if we just delete the container, all this data will be gone. So, and this is something, for example, Ben wouldn't be very happy about this if this was his client data. So the next thing I will do is I will just delete this container again. And I will just spin up another container with a slightly different, slightly different code. I will spin up this container here. And as you see, in comparison to this, this here, there is a volume mapping within. And what this does is that it just stores the data outside of my container and it persists it. So next thing I can just do is I will just spin up a new instance of my database again. SQL Server is running. And well, if we are connecting to this SQL Server, yeah, well, it takes a little time until everything is ready that you can just connect and that the commands can be executed. But now the data is persistent in this Docker volume. Okay, there is our SQL Server again. So the next thing, what you can easily do with SQL on Docker to just test it is an update. So if we are looking, or an upgrade of our SQL Server, if we're just having a look at our version of our SQL Server, we will see that the version is a SQL Server 2017. Well, and Ben asks me, I have this really, really great application, but I don't know if it is running on SQL Server 2019. What can we do? Well, or do you know if this application will run on SQL Server 2019? And the only honest answer I can give, Ben, is, well, I don't know, because we haven't tested it. But what we can do now is we can easily create an update by just doing the following. I will throw away my SQL Server Docker container by just doing a remove again on the right ID here. So now my SQL Server 2017 is gone, and what I can do now is I can just spin up a SQL Server 2019, which I do with this command, and I use the exact same volume I used when I spin up the SQL Server 2017. I will do it this way, and what's now happening in the background is the SQL Server 2019 has detected that there is a master database, and this master database is an old database, and it does by default it does an upgrade process, and you can watch this upgrade process by just looking at the logs. I will Docker logs 48, and you will see this is the upgrade process where the SQL Server upgrades a master database or all the system databases from 2017 to 2019. This takes a little while, and hopefully we will be ready when the time is or in time. So I think now the SQL Server is up again, and what I can do now is I can just connect to this SQL Server. Just let me, yeah. Oh, it's it's still updating, as you see. That was the warning message. So let's see. Yeah, this is SQL Server is in upgrade mode, and starting execution of MSDB SQL. This is a good sign. Maybe we can connect now. Oh, come on. Is it still in update modus? So at least what I would like to show you is that it is very easy to do an upgrade process of a SQL Server 2017 to 2019 for Docker for such testing scenarios where you just would like to answer the question: Is it will my application still run with SQL Server 2019 and things like this? And you have seen in the short time, in this 10 minutes, I initiated three SQL servers, and I think this is something which can be easily and fast achieved with Docker, and this is something you cannot do the same way, for example, with a virtual machine. Okay,